Alright. Good evening, everybody. Not a problem. We're glad that you stopped by for us. I'm happy to see you here. Okay. But welcome in, everyone. I hope that the evening is finding you all well. I hope that your days have gone well and that they continue to. Alright, so we are going to continue painting up some of our Underdark horrors that we've got working on here. I'll go ahead and move our drink over here. Alright. So, let's see. We still need the brown. Let's see. I think use that green. That red. And this red. Yeah, that should be good. And then I know we'll use that white. Alright. I very much hope that you all had a decent day and at least got a good bit of rest and relaxation in, or at least that the day is coming to an end, so that you can get a good bit of rest and relaxation in. Apparently my hands just don't want to work tonight. Welcome in there, Thunder, and I'm sure my players will have the exact same reaction when they see it coming at them far faster than they ever wanted to. But I hope that you're doing alright tonight as well. But it's only going to get worse as we go in terms of evil things for the Underdark. I'll vote for it. Welcome in there, honey. I hope you're doing alright. Hopefully your day has been at least somewhat peaceful. Hey, there you go. We'll take good days off. Well, of course. Just remember, Thunder, you gotta be careful with that around here because apparently people seem to remember if I commit a galactic crime, such as, throwing Imperials off of cliffs and not wanting to let that go for whatever reason. And I'm still persecuted for that today. So, no, I will forever say I was justified in that. And I will remain vindicated. Yeah, it's about Ruben. The one channel meme I have is that I am just a absolutely terrible person for yeeting a singular stormtrooper into a bottomless cavern, even though he was literally talking about hunting the Jedi who he didn't know was standing right behind him. But yet I'm the terrible person. I mean, it's always funny because it's never the thing you ask for. It's never the thing you expect to have as the channel meme. But honestly, I really wouldn't have it any other way. It's always so much more fun when it's bestowed upon you as opposed to, you choosing it. Let's see if we can get this ground piece a little bit more uniform here. I mean, when you say it like that. Look, Landon and Aset were the ones who got upset at me committing a crime, or the alleged crime. I called it self defense, and then they started talking about how he was enjoying his lunch break. So I said that I stole his lunch and ate it in front of him. Or ate it after the fact that I threw him into the cavern. I mean, there you go. That's definitely a good way to look at it. A killer meme. Again, I still regret nothing. Thunder, my friend, you have just as horrible insomnia as I do, but I don't see how you function, my friend. You were up at all hours of the day. You don't have insomnia, yet you don't ever sleep. Insomnia has me. Okay. You know what? I'll give you that one. I'm telling you though, you may want to look at getting a nice little sleep study just to see if there are options that could help you cope or deal with the insomnia that way. Because I know you wake up tired. There's one option, and what option is that? There, Thunder. I mean, inducing sleep, that is definitely an option. I would hope it wouldn't be the only option, but I mean, it is definitely a option. Quite amazing how much blunt force trauma actually does help. Yeah, but Thunder, that's not good because sleep deprivation will actively eat your brain after a certain point. extreme cases can lead to far worse circumstances other than just, your brain eating yourself, eating itself. I mean, I said the same thing, Thunder. Here I am, almost to my mid 30s, and in far worse condition than I expected to be in. Great sound off. Thanks, Cozy. Welcome in. Gray muzzles sound off. How dare. How dare. Welcome in, Aset. I'm so glad you could make it, and also, and you're damn right that Cozy's cool, but let's also do this little thing for you too. Nope. The timer is going to stop me from doing it, isn't it? Fine, we'll do it the old fashioned way. Bam, there we go.
And look at what we have here. A bloody heathen.
Hobbit Vom Doc
Well, thank you for the resubscription there, Hobbit. I greatly appreciate that. And 7 months, really? Has it been that long? I do greatly appreciate the resubscription of the Hog of Wa. But we are always happy to host the King Dr. Hoobit here in all of his glory. But of course, welcome in. We're only... I guess in a way I am painting one of your worst enemies, Hobbit. We do have a giant spider today. So, apologies for that. But as long as you have your Samwise, you'll be perfectly fine. Never go hiking without your proper Samwise. Man, why? I don't know why. That is such a hilarious meme of just Muscle Man from regular show screaming my mom the whole time. I do love and despise these small pieces. Because my nerve damage is apparently on loud display tonight because I am having all the trouble holding on to this one. Don't quite know why. But we'll persevere. This is the spider egg sac. So this is we're just painting up the the ground base for it, and then we'll come back through with a white to give it that kind of coagulated spider silk look.
Oh my god, he's so goddamn!
And looky here, it's a
channel with 6
techie.
viewers.
Welcome in, techie, and welcome in, raiders. Oh yeah, we're painting the horrors of the Underdark tonight. As we're slowly getting through this pile of shame. So that I can slowly work on the other pile of shame that I have let pile up. As I have also found a few other things in and around the house that I have also had as other paint projects that need to be taken care of. Oh yeah, funny enough, this was a Father's Day gift to me from my son. Because he knows I'm a massive Dragon Ball fan. Oh, 100%. And there it is. But yes, 100% techie. I'm just really bad about when I have a little bit of extra cash, I will run down and go get a bunch of inspired ideas to torment my players. And then I will order a whole bunch of stuff and then take, 7 to 12 months to get through the initial pile where I may lose interest in it and not have the motivation for it, so I'll just leave it there. But then I'll get slapped with a little bit more inspiration, or, something will go on sale that I want, and then I buy, 5 or 6 more figures here and there, and before I know it, I'm sitting at, like 30 to 40, just D&D figures alone to paint, and still haven't even painted the, 20 of them that I said I was going to paint, previously. So, this is wonderful. Moving at the government work speed. There you go. I mean, that is true, but also the fact that I discovered that I could do this is greatly helping, because now I can't hide behind the excuse that, oh, I can just wait and do it on the weekend. I can be like, well, no, I can actually just sit back and talk with everybody in chat while I jam out to some, good music and actually make a little bit of progress on all the crap that I've let pile up. So that's what this, fun little, aside from my usual gaming and throwing people off of cliffs is this is just a fun, motivational excuse to try and work through a little bit of this pile at a time. And once we start clearing a good bit of the pile, then I'm justified to make more purchases. Because, I'm starting to run out of things to paint. Now I can go get more things to paint. So there is a method in this madness. Not a whole lot of method, but there's a whole lot more madness than there is method, but it's there. At least that's what I like to tell myself. The glorious beard. Well, I mean, Hobbit. To be fair, the glorious beard is partly. You were partly seeing my actual hair, as currently I have my hair down. So allow me to do for the one time the fun little face reveal. So this is the extent of the glorious beard. It's slowly getting there, but until I look like Dane Ironfoot, it's not done. Which is ultimately the goal. I wish to look as I don't know. You are quite literally known as the most handsome of the cafe there, Cobbett. I am simply the hilariously weird cryptid that hangs out in the corner. That is my lot in life. Who's lies about being cafe? I don't think anyone is telling lies there, Mr. Hobbit. You are the Lord of Titles. He who has many names. And one of those titles puts you as one of the most attractive members of the entirety of the cafe. So do tell who is the one lying if that is one of your main titles, per se. Why I got off the team. Pretty sure that one was granted to you by Trash, not Timu. But wait, you can buy titles off of Timu? I was not aware of that. I need to start looking at random goofy titles. It's all truth until proven otherwise. There you go, Thunder. I mean, I don't know. I would like to think that Trash's shenanigans are worth a little bit more than some of the stuff you can get off of Timu. As he is a right hilarious shenaniganizer, and I cannot help but respect his commitment to any bit that he decides that he's going to go and pull. Especially considering the only time that I have physically met Trash was at A&E, and literally I saw him riding up an escalator with a bandoiler full of kazoos as he was trumpeting the Muppets theme while he was trying to track us down and find us, and we just happened to pass him on the escalator. So, I mean, I can't fault Trash in his absolute commitment to the bit that he's deciding to pull at that time. It's actually quite liberating to have just something. Exactly. He is hilariously as Trash as he is online as he is in person. And it is both absolutely hilarious and 100%, just as goofily charming as it is online. And I absolutely love that we have him as part of the community because he is just beyond hilarious to even sit down and talk with. The man wanted in 30 different countries. Oh, 100%. Like, it's not only the fact that he's unapologetically just himself, it's simply the fact that he is unapologetically himself at all times, even when he knows that could be a problem, and yet he still finds a way to be himself and charming about it. And also, great taste in drinks, as he and I shared a couple shots of whiskey, and I traded a bottle of mead to him. Absolutely just wonderful to sit back and enjoy, you know, talking and drinking with him. The bones, they creak and tell me nothing. Oh, 100%. But it's also just the simple fact that he willingly turned a hotel lobby into just a hilarious, impromptu aside from anything and everything else that was going on. And then started, immediately making friends by pouring kazoo shots. Like, it was 100% just a wonderfully. I want to say it was like I was not surprised in the slightest meeting Trash in person, but I say that in the best way possible because I had nothing to sit there and be, like taken aback by. I was just like this entire situation that I find myself sitting in the middle of is 100% exactly what I expected we would get up to when Trash said he was showing up to us. And I absolutely love it. I mean, yes, there were a couple of people who did get spoken to about it, but yeah, considering how just jovial and the fact that he was convincing other people to join in the shenaniganry, I think that man the at least the hostess at the desk was just like, you know what? I don't get paid enough to deal with this kind of shenanigans. I'm just going to let it slide until they start doing something, abhorrent or incredibly problematic, and then I will have no choice but to get involved. But until then, I will just sit back and pray that they don't. Oh, that would honestly, yes. Like that, if we can ever get a set here, we need to get you here as well, Hobbit. I think that would be absolutely stellar to just have everybody hang out at a pub and just sit, even if we're not drinking, just sit back and just enjoy the good food, the atmosphere, and the shenanigans that 100% will ensue. I mean, that's a good way to look at it there, Thunder. Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll do a fundraiser for you, Hobbit. We'll get you here. I mean, you do stream the Golden Lap, so I mean, you can just we'll set up like a donathon for you to get over here. Or we'll do a reverse donathon and find a way to come over there to you. Do you mind? I know you're going to outlive me, but you don't have to be so loud about it. Hey, there you go, Thunder. That'd be great. We'd be happy to have you here. I don't know, Hobbit. Every time you get a shout out on the channel that tells me you were playing Golden Lap, that sounds like a streamer. And is it really? Is it really taking money from friends if we're immediately just using it to get you over here so that we can all hang out and spend time and enjoy each other's company? I mean, I would. I mean, unless you're carrying some of the, things you go out and find in terms of, old ordnance, I don't see why the TSA would harass you too much. But then again, TSA has always been weird, so I guess they don't necessarily need a reason. Time to go rob a bank, I guess. I mean, you might have a little bit better luck of doing that over there than you would here, Hobbit. I mean, the perfect example of that is, the crown jewels being lifted from the Louvre. I just, I still can't believe you pulled off a heist in broad daylight on scaffolding and just walked in and yoinked a bunch of expensive, historically valuable jewels and crowns and was just like, yeah, we're just gonna go now. Bye. You go into healthcare. Oh, that's damn techie. 100%. Texans. This is my emotional support rocket launcher. Yeah, just say you're flying into Texas. You'll be fine there, Thunder. Everybody will understand. I mean, hey, work hurts, man. We've got people who own tanks and drive them around in the states. Like we love that Second Amendment and the ability to buy a bunch of dumb stuff. Flipboard and vest says it all. Yep. Some of them you have to have regulations for here. Others you don't. And I think there's a dude. I want to say he's in Arkansas, or he might be in Arizona. But we've got a dude here who literally owns like 13 militias worth of, armored battalions. Just about every time one comes up for auction that he wants, he'll go out there and he'll just buy like 3 or 4 of them at a time. Oh yeah, no. the password to get into security was it's the Louvre. Oh man. Good luck out there, Hobbit. You enjoy your evening or early morning, whichever it winds up being for you. And we will catch you here shortly. Oh, wow. There you go. Hey, especially if you can get it where a lot of the parts are included in that price. I mean, that's really a steal. I had a buddy in high school who, near where my grandfather lived, there was this old truck lot, and they had a old World War II era truck. That was an old Army personnel transport truck. The last time I saw it, it had a tree growing out of the engine block. And I don't know why, but I desperately, and I do mean desperately, I was talking to my grandfather about it. I was like, hey, for my first car, can you and me buy that junked out World War II truck and restore it together? And we talked about it back and forth for years, and I never thought he was serious. And then one day he told me it looks like somebody bought that truck. It's not there anymore. And I found out a buddy of mine from high school actually bought it and restored it as his senior project and put it in our Armed Forces Day parade. And it was absolutely fantastic seeing that what literally had a tree growing out of it for the majority of my childhood and being back on the road without any problems. Other than the fact that, it was a World War II truck that was diesel, so it was guzzling gas like there was no tomorrow. So really, I think I dodged a bullet there. But yeah, that was his senior project. Was he bought that truck that I had my eye on for about 15 years, and him and his old man went and restored it, turned it into something absolutely fantastic, and now, yeah, like any Armed Forces or Veterans Day parade around here, I think he goes ahead and they drive it through, as it is living history again. I honestly haven't checked up on a lot of my old friends from high school. Pretty much everybody grew a good bit apart and kind of went their own separate ways. So I don't know. I like to think I look incredibly different, but I don't know. It's odd because I never had long hair and a beard until after I had gotten married. So it's weird when I do run into a couple of people who used to know me and they can instantly, oh, hey man, how you doing? How the hell do you know who I am? I look like a completely different person now. Oh no, man, we know who you are. You're still you. Like, well, I thank you for the compliment, but again, you're not explaining it in a way that my brain will comprehend. I looked absolutely nothing like what I do now when you knew me. And it's not like I've had social media at all for any of you to stalk. Oh, look, there's 1944. Oh, Guess the price. For an old stew? Um, what, do they want 15 for it? I'd say between 15 and 20. That would be my guess. 1.6. Oh, wow. Okay. Holy hell. All right. Never mind. I was way off. Gotcha. A draw back is too high. Going to get the right reaction just manually. There you go, Tech. I mean, that's the thing is like, I mean, I don't know. I guess I've always just been really good with with faces, so I'm pretty good at recognizing people based off of voices or faces. I just may not remember names very well because, I got lots of head trauma. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I'll be damned. All right. Hell yeah, Thunder. But I mean, like, yeah, there are still there are people who I've run into from high school, and yeah, their hairline is receding a good bit, or they've either lost or put on weight. They've been married or divorced, and I joined that club myself. But it's odd because at least for the most part, most of the people I went to school with, most of them seem to have, at least appearance-wise, stayed mostly the same. Oh yeah, I will remember someone's name like 3 days after running into them. In fact, one of my buddy who runs the D&D game for me that I'm a player at, it turns out I know most of his wife's friend group that she went to school with because most of them went to my school and then transferred out. And one of them was at the house literally telling me how they knew me. And I was like, I remember your face. I remember who you are. I know who you hung out with. I just, forgive me, I can't remember your name. I can literally give you like memories of what you guys were up to at that exact time. I just cannot for the life of me give you your own name. We threw out his name. I mean, I don't know, because I also am weird. I really don't go out a whole lot. So it's fairly rare for me to just encounter a random former colleague out in the wild. But when it does, I usually have the wonderful excuse of, I have everything that I needed to get when I got here. I no longer have the time or the social battery willing to socialize and discuss things with someone that I barely remember. Farewell. Fair winds on your travels, good sir. Oh, did they? Okay. Well, hey, I'll take a British Scimitar. Okay, that's one that I don't hear very often getting mentioned or talked about. But yeah, I mean, I don't encounter a whole lot of people because I mostly just don't go out. The most I do is I'll go out to eat every now and again. But my eating habits and schedule is so weird that most people just I just don't run into, and I love that. Though there are like a couple of people I wouldn't mind running back into because I think, a couple of people I wouldn't mind reconnecting with, and every now and again I'll run into somebody here and there. I'd say probably about 120 would be what I would assume, especially if it's a museum exhibit. I would say probably 120 if they were willing to sell it. 265. Woo. Yeah, this is exactly why I stick to my medieval replicas and weaponry. I can spend a good chunk of change, but I'm not spending, the full price of a house for something that I would have to overly be regulated against. Okay. Ah, okay. So those are still considered active fighter tanks then. I guess that would explain the jump in price. Yeah, this is probably going to take at least two coats to get a nice even color for this red on black because it's going to darken really nicely against the black primer here. Okay. Get you some good rest there, Techie. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. I greatly appreciate the red and the red. I need to English better. I appreciate the raid, and I hope that the rest of your night winds up going well for you. And we shall talk to you fairly soon. You have a wonderful rest of your evening. Eventually I will learn how to speak elusive language known as English. There it goes. Gotta love technology. Oh, I hear you. I hear you. Damn little technologies. Yep, yep, yep. So, kills around. Man. So, yeah, apparently the app had a weird moment where it decided it wanted to force restart itself without giving any warning. So, alright. Let's get back to our regularly scheduled shenaniganry. I'm gonna have to go over the back of the bottom of this base again. But alright. It was a fun little bit of technical difficulty. But glad that we got it back. But again, be careful out there, Techie. You have yourself a wonderful evening, and we will talk to you again soon. Alright. It's not a stream if there's not a little bit of scuff. Alright, so this, thankfully, isn't really going to be that difficult once we get all this new foundational color down. And then we'll do a little bit of freehand on the thorax, throw down some kind of design. And after that actually will finish the spider because the egg sac is already done. I just need to let it dry long enough for me to do a little bit of work on this, and then we can glue it to its base, and then that one will be good to go. Go. But Cozy, I do hope your creativity is still holding up. I do hope you are getting plenty of more ideas to hopefully grace us with the Season 2 of Tiny Squad. I must consult the book. The book will tell me. because I know the D&D session I had over the weekend was quite entertaining, even though I basically got no further with the dragon egg as of yet. So, for those of you who don't know, I run two D&D games myself. They have been on a bit of a very long hiatus, but that will hopefully be coming to an end here at some point during the summer, as I'll be able to pick that back up. But in the interim, one of my players at both of those games decided he would run a game and let me be a player at his table. A decision I would like to think I have made him regret over the past year. Because we have officially hit a year in our playing this campaign together. And within that year, the character I play is a Great Old One patron warlock, but I am essentially playing Alucard from Team 4 Stars Helsing Ultimate Abridged. That is 100% the character I play, and I play it basically almost exactly as he is portrayed in the parody. I completely understand there. Thunder, you go and get you some good knobs, and if we see you again, awesome. We'll catch you here soon. If not, try and get you a little bit of rest because I know you've got. I unfortunately think you've got another couple long days ahead of you. Yeah, because how long did it actually run there, Cozy? Because I know it was well in full swing when I joined the community. Uh, and I basically only showed up for. I was only able to join in the near tail end of around 25 to 30 sessions. Okay. That's actually pretty impressive because you guys were doing that weekly, weren't you? Every Thursday? Because I know once I found out that there was a D&D session going on in the cafe, I very quickly joined the calls when I wasn't just passed out from long days at work, and I would just sit back and enjoy listening to you guys. October of 24 to July of 2025. I mean, that is based off of the shenanigans that I saw you guys get up to. I mean, that was you did absolutely fantastic as a DM there, Cozy. You handled even the shenanigans of you rolling poorly very well. You handled the shenanigans of your players rolling uh, fairly not so well a good bit of the time. It's so funny because my brother Josh is very much the same way. If he has to roll for anything in the world, he will fail. 9 times out of 10, until it is important for either his personal story or when it just matters the most, then his dice will cooperate with him. But any other time, him just doing like casual role play or utility checks, he is almost always all over the place. And we all constantly joke that he has some horrendous form of a dice curse. Because his dice will only ever work for him when it is something essential to his personal character story, or if it is just essential, like he needs to or he's about to die. But he won't ever start combat off good. He will always start off rough, get surrounded, get beat down, and then start rolling well. That is probably one of the best stories that you will forever be able to tell us at. Because, I sat back and actually, me and my buddy were painting over the weekend after, because I stayed over at his place all weekend with me and my kids. So while the kids were downstairs, playing and carrying on and being, gremlins with each other, he and I went upstairs and he's got a 3D printer. So he prints a lot of his minis and whatnot. So we were just sitting there painting and we just started telling stories of like, oh, I did. This was one of my favorite moments from one of my earlier D&D campaigns. This was one of the wildest, shenanigans I got up to in a different campaign, and like we just kept bouncing it back and forth like that. And now you have an absolutely wonderful story to tell when it comes to that, Asad. Oh yeah, Honey always got a kick out of my insane, goofy stories of accidentally breaking a couple of DM's campaigns, or especially when I was running my two campaigns. I feel like that was a highlight of us getting to sit back when we were working together. It's just like, what did you idiots get up to this weekend? Oh yeah, no, I just, I am a very twistedly fun DM. I mean, obviously, I'm sitting here painting monsters that I wholeheartedly attempt to torment them with, but it's just, it's a fun Faustian bargain when it comes to me, because again, a lot of the guys who played with me, I was introducing them to, D&D for the first time. So I was like, okay, well, I can promise you I won't kill you. Oh, this one? Oh, this one is a god. This is Lolth, the drow goddess of spiders, betrayal, and the patron god of drow society. She, if my players encounter her, if they choose to fight that is, I can't stop. I can't save that level of stupidity there. If you're willing to swing on a god, especially arguably one of the most evil gods in D&D, then, hey, more power to you. Enjoy the moral high ground, because it's coming to meet you very, very quickly, because she's going to slap you down into it. I mean, if they do, awesome. They're gonna have a really fun story to tell. If they do, I have a really short encounter that they're about to have. Unless they can somehow find a way to get out of it, which I very much so will allow them to do it. But I know I'm about to cause Cozy a little bit of psychic damage because I'm also the DM that I will throw a puzzle at my players and I will not have a solution. There is no correct answer to solving the puzzle. I'll just laugh until I hear a decent enough answer for me to say, "Yep, that does it." I mean, I'm not saying I'm above doing it to them. I 100% would, and am very willing to do so. Okay, let's see. How do we want to do? What design do I want to do if you want your back? Okay. Let's see here. Alright, slowly but surely getting there. Oh, but Set, I do have a fun little thing to showcase for you. So my Ren Fair has opened itself back up, and Cozy, you will also enjoy this. Actually, yes. So because my Ren Fair opens up here soon, the last several times I've gone, I have been trinket traded. and I have not really had much in the way to trinket trade back. So I have now bought myself a bunch of miniature crows to trinket trade at the Ren Fair with. In fact, I have quite a lot of them. So yes, I will be. I did run out of crabs. Yes, I gave those away as Christmas presents. One year is I have a. I bought a bunch of. See, fast as he can run. So one year for Christmas, I had these little. They were only about like yay big, probably about the size of this spider, actually. But they were crabs that had their pincers up like this, and their pencil holders. I bought a weird like giant assorted pack of like 30 or 40 of them. So for Christmas one year, I just threw them at all of my friends, and I gave everybody crabs for Christmas. Because the pun was too absolutely too funny to be able to pass up. But I also got a couple of other things to trinket trade just in case the crows weren't as great of a hit as I knew they would be. We also have some pirate doubloons. Got a whole bag of those. And they're nice real metal coins. I figured you would like those, Cozy. And then for my fun little tism, a whole pack of skeleton keys. Which, you know, the glare's not doing me too many good favors, but yeah, a crap ton of different old style skeleton keys. So when I do go to the Ren Fair, which will hopefully be soon, me and the groups are all trying to coordinate and figure out when the best time to go will be, what weekend everyone will be free. We will be all heading out to the Rent Fair, and if my head will get here in enough time, I will happily wear Old's new head when it arrives. Out there to the Ren Fair, I just need to ensure all of my fans are charged. But yes, I now have crows, keys, and coins to throw at people at the Ren Fair. I did a crap job with the free hand, but you know, that's half the fun. Doesn't have to be super perfect, it just has to be good. Good enough to know that half of my players have arachnophobia and I'm painting a giant spider for them. So I've got, like, a couple of us have already, got that one on our radar. Because, yeah, that one that's happening downtown looks like it's going to be interesting, but I also don't really know, like, how in depth that one is going to be, just simply because it's a free first time event. I'm interested to see, and I might wind up going on one of the days that's open. I'm just not sure when, because I know my ex-wife may attempt to take the gremlins down there, which would be fine, as they have been asking to come to the one that me and my friends go to, which I want to take. I want to be the one to take them down there. Okay. Yeah, I'm not downtown enough to know all that much about it. All right. The ad synopsis version. All right. So here we have our arachnid. A bit of a freehand pattern there on the thorax. So I do see a couple of spots that I missed, but actually that will kind of give a almost uh, spotted look to it. So I won't argue terribly much with them. And then the egg sac. And so that is that grouping of two figures down. Alright. So, what do we want to do next? We have Piercer and Cave segment, the two Eder caps, the Clutter, and then the Drow and the Yakel are the only things we got left in here. So we can do another big figure, such as a Cloaker, or we can kind of start running through these, smaller figures. So which ones do you guys want to see done next? I mean, all of them kind of run about the same as any of the others. I wind up throwing the big ones, the small ones. It doesn't really matter. But I'm only saying that mostly because at this point, this is the last quote unquote big one that we've got, and then all the others are about this size or smaller. So either way, we're gonna wind up getting through it, big or small. That doesn't really hold too big of a sway for me. But while we think on that, I'm gonna go grab me a fresh drink. Hashtag not sponsored. But we are going to crack open a cold one with the boys. But let's see. This one will go by quickly because it's all mostly just 1 to 2 colors. These guys will go by fairly quickly because they're also mostly 1 to 2 colors. This guy is really only 1 color. It's just his face is slightly different colored. This thing is 100% just a single color. And then the drow I can get a little creative with. But they're all going to be mostly of similar, like all of these are going to be fairly simple runs. So in fact, I actually think I'll go ahead and just do these 4 right here now, because they're not going to really take any time at all to paint up. So let's see. Black to prime them, light gray for the base, dark brown for the cave part, this for the piercer itself. Header caps are white, and where is that purple? I think that's the purple. I'm gonna say that's the purple, and if not, we're gonna have blue header caps. And we'll just call it a day. Alright, so we'll just throw down a quick layer for the primer, let it settle, and then we will just start splashing color on these guys quick and simple. And then I think I'll sit back and take a few pictures of what we've gotten done and post them in the server and turn a nice, neat little grouping of, hey, this is what we've gotten done over the past few, figure streams. Because especially after how weird this week at work has gone, I am definitely enjoying just getting to come home and relax and unwind by doing this. As this is, even with as goofed up as my hands tend to get, this is just a really nice, relaxing way to enjoy a hectic week. Oh, the same wonderful managerial intelligence. People making incredibly ill informed and not incredibly smart decisions that seem to continue to impact the very people who make the company money, whereas they get to continue to sit in their office and enjoy the benefits of mine and my coworkers' labor. We've been, especially this last month, with it being the end of the quarter for the year, or at least the end of the first quarter, we have been insanely swamped with work, with orders. We were 2 weeks ago, we were almost 2,000 lines behind on orders. So that's at least a minimum of 2,000 items. A lot of orders call for multiple items on a single line, so we were down almost 2,000 lines like 2 weeks ago. Yesterday being the end of the quarter, this morning we walked into only 135 lines immediately at the start of the day that had been ordered. We caught it up from 2,000 and got it down all together with like stage lines and whatnot. We got everything down to like 300 lines out of the almost 2,000 we were behind. And it took two supervisors reminding the guy who had been pushing us to get everything out. It took two separate supervisors clearing their throat and mentioning, hey, here are the metrics that we did in the last week alone, for the main manager to even thank us and then proceed to tell us, well, we'll see about getting you guys like a lunch one day or something. It took quite a bit for me not to javelin my new cane at his head. Because I'm sorry that you don't show your appreciation for people going above and beyond by getting them, pizza. Exactly, a lunch. Welcome in there, Landon. I hope you're doing all right. Oh, well, that was the thing, was he was like, yeah, we'll get you guys like some sandwiches or lunch or something. And like, I had to have my immediate supervisor stared at me as like Samuel L. Jackson in Django Unchained to make sure I didn't launch my cane across the floor at him. A Chick-fil-A spread. No, that's expensive. They won't pay for that kind of catering. Not unless it's like a holiday party. Oh, I 100% agree with you, Pine. 100%. It won't be the sandwiches getting yeeted, I can tell you that. It'll be the moron who decided that that was a great way to repay, multiple hours of, undue frustration and stupidity from you constantly sending me on wild goose chases while I was desperately trying to get my day to day activities caught back up. Because, if the outbound is busy, guess what? Inbound is also busy. I'm just saying, man, I don't have to hurt anybody, but if I just tar and feather one guy one time and humiliate him out in the parking lot, I guarantee we won't have this problem again. I just want to talk. Ignore the bucket of tar and ignore the whole pillowcase full of feathers. Like, it's okay. We just want to talk. Yeah, what do you mean? Why are you sitting there worried? Of course the tar is hot. That's how it stays as a liquid. Don't run. You'll only get third degree burns while tired. I just want to talk. Don't mind this. Well, also, so I haven't posted pictures of it yet, but I did mention, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, that my main cane that I have been using snapped on me at work. So I got me a new cane, and I actually like this. It is a beautiful, uh, heavy metal cobra-headed staff. So it's got a nice little cobra head for the handle. Works perfectly to contour to the inside of your palm. Very nice and ergonomic. However, the handle on it is very like it is beautifully done. It is like carved with the this unique little filigree in it, but it is very light. So I made the comment that hey, if I have to hit anybody with this cane, you owe me a new cane because the head won't break, but the rest of the cane will. So I may only get one good swing, but all I'm going to need is that one part of the head to hit you just right. And I'll induce amnesia to where he didn't have to worry about this conversation. You know what? In fact, I actually have it right here. So I'll go ahead and do a cane reveal. Let's see. So, let's see here. So yeah, we have the nice, heavy cobra head. I think it's made. I think it's a copper and brass. But then we have the cane itself as this wonderful, almost floral pattern carved into it. I shall now refer to you as Jafar. Oh, that is hilarious. But yeah, it is a. This is. I love how this just perfectly rests in the hand, and it is quite light. But I just worry about how light the wood is on the haft there because this will survive taking a hit. This won't. So yeah, it's funny you mentioned Jafar because one, Aladdin 100% was one of my favorite Disney movies growing up as a kid, and Jafar is in the top three favorite villains from the OG Disney Renaissance. But also hilarious, shocking, I know. But hilariously enough, I in the campaigns that I've run, I actually have a group of genies, specifically Ifrit, so fire gen, that are blacksmiths, and they all have very hilarious names. Your beard is so twisted. Oh man, that just fucking great. But yeah, one of both of there are two jinn in particular that the party have befriended. Both of them are family blacksmiths, and the name is Janir and Jafar. And it is 100% the joke, Janir, Jafar, wherever you are. And only one of my players caught the joke as I made it because they had previously met Jafar. It was in the other campaign where most of the same people were playing different characters that they met the cousin, Janir. And they get to wherever you are. It's the Celine Dion song, yeah. So the joke is the cousin Jafar is the better of the two blacksmiths, but no one knows where he is. Janir is the closest blacksmith, and he will get you pretty much whatever you need. And they have a third brother who is the reigning hide and seek champion. That they neither of them know where he is. I I do not find a flaw in your logic, and it was 110% Belly Dancer Jasmine that gave me a incredible early amount of respect for, the ideas of Middle Eastern culture. Because I love Middle Eastern architecture, their weaponry, just really a lot of their aesthetics are just fantastic. And Aladdin may or may not. Oh no. Alright, we'll wait for Cozy to come back. Nala, Marion, Cornflower. Oh man. Yeah, no, I can definitely see that there, Pine. Wow, Cornflower. That is one I haven't heard of in a long time. Now, I will forever say that I am 100% blaming Disney and Nintendo for why I am the way that I am.
Son of a bitch.
The Mocha Cafe gifted 1 subscriptions.
Skill. Well, thank you for the gifted sub there, Landon. Too cozy. Interesting. Looky there. Go for it, by all means. But yeah, no, cozy. To catch you back up on what you were lamenting catching an ad at that point. Yeah, Jasmine gave me a Oh wow, did it? Okay. I've got everything muted, or else I apparently echo quite badly and for everybody if I don't have myself muted. But yeah, no. So cozy, what you missed was your generosity is noted. The chat will remember. But yeah, it was. Jasmine gave me a very early respect for Middle Eastern style clothing, as well as just that movie in general made me fall in love with Middle Eastern architecture and all sorts of things. So I 100% will, and of course Pine bringing up, all of the wonderful characters that he did. Yes, I 100% blame Nintendo and Disney for turning me into a furry. Young me watching Robin Hood for the first time, I fell in love with Maid Marian. That was a given. That is probably also why I still have a soft spot for foxes. And then Nintendo really shot me a second time. When they dropped Star Fox Adventures and gave us all Crystal Fox. Nintendo knew what they were doing, and they pulled the trigger multiple times against me when they dropped her as a character. Sorry. All right, fair enough. Go for it there, Landon.
You son of a
Like I
bitch.
said, I
Mocha
unfortunately
Cafe
have
gifted
things
1
muted, so
subscriptions.
I can't. Okay. Saying gifted 1 sub there. Ah, red. Okay, the red wall. Yeah. I have no idea, but is it really a stream if there's not some kind of goofiness to it when things don't work as they're supposed to? If there's not scuff, is it really a stream? Did it really happen? Nelvana, yeah, man, Redwall. Man, I loved reading the Redwall book series. I was going through, 2 or 3 of those books a day when I was a kid. And just sitting back and reading the hell out of that. Yeah, yeah. Wonderful times back in the day. Oh, Landon, I guess since you weren't here, or you were coming in at the very end of us getting that done, we did finish the spider. And so here's our eight-legged boyo and all of his spider, the Arachnus deathicus. Much creepy, very bug. Wow. We did a little bit of freehand pattern on his back. Oh, really? Huh, okay. And then, of course, the egg sac as well, to make that look as desiccated and odd as possible. But now we're moving on to working on the piercer and the edder caps, which are also bug and spider-like in and of themselves. So we're just doing all the things that are going to trigger one or two of my players very specifically. To which I do apologize for that, at least until the spider dragon arrives. Then all bets are off. I'm not apologizing for anything. You accepted the Faustian bargain and you will be compensated for your trauma accordingly. Typically with more trauma. Deadly poison or tasty omelette? I 100% believe that Uncle Iroh, especially in those moments, was really testing whether or not Zuko was a good person. I am 90% sure he knew exactly what that plant was, but he specifically said that there is a chance that it could be a deadly poison to see how Zuko would react to it. Because notice, even though he did contract the poison, he was perfectly fine. But immediately he went to look at another plant and he's like, so this is either the antidote to this deadly poison or this is an even deadlier poison. But you know what? Fuck it, we ball, I'm rolling the dice. And I find that so absolutely hilarious that is just Uncle Iroh being Uncle Iroh. Of just like, yeah, I totally knew what this plant was. I really just wanted to see if you were actually going to care enough to stick by me if I poisoned myself. Because, you know, the very next episode he was perfectly fine. Now, I know we didn't get like a massive passage of time, but he couldn't have been, you know, down for more than a day or two. Alright. Let's get these primed up and ready to go. And I've really been wanting to get a hold of my hands back on the Redwall series because I know my kids would absolutely love to read through that series. But the problem is for me to get like the full set, it's like almost $200 for me to order the whole set of the Redwall series. So I'm either going to wait for it to go on sale and buy it, or I'm just going to have to work me a nice, juicy little bit of overtime to be able to afford that. Because that could very easily take care of the kids for their summer reading that they would be needing to do, unless for whatever reason they decide to put those books on the ban list, which honestly would not surprise me, considering that they, for the most part, actually do have a pretty wholesome message, and might not be the message people want in this climate. Yeah, no, I've checked it, because I've got like there's a big resale store near where I live, and I've called and checked with them multiple times about it, and I was just like, look, do you have like even a couple of them? And if you do, can you take my name and number down, and anytime you get any more of them in, would you just give me a call and let me see if I can, just slowly get the collection from you? I think they only called me like twice in 3 years. And by the time I was able to get back up there, after they called me, they had already sold it. So I was just like, well, I can either just go and buy, a couple of them here and there, which would be cheaper, and I mean, it'd probably wind up being about the same, but I can, get like 3 or 4 books ordered somewhere and only pay like, $20-30. And then, if the kids enjoy them, then they can read through them, and then I can go grab a couple more on like another paycheck or something. That would probably be the better solution, but I'll probably look into doing that probably wait for like a good Black Friday deal or something, and then I'll get it. Because, I'll have the house fully set up by the way that I want it then, and I should have, plenty of bookshelf space by that point to be able to accommodate, like the 27 or 30 books that is. Because there's quite a lot of them in the Redwall series now. It's like 24 or 27, I think. Not including the cookbook. Okay. Oh, they've got a game of Redwall? Now, see, I was unaware of that. But I mean, hell, you can't really beat a 75% off deal. Soma, okay. Interesting. I might have to look into that. It has been so long since I read or had any anything to do with the Redwall series. I'd have to say that probably one of my favorite books from that series was Marl Fox, I believe was the name of the book. That one, for whatever reason, that one stuck out to me and has stayed with me quite a bit. Welcome in there, Callie. Oh, really? Now, see, that's awesome, Pine. I love when, game companies do things like that. I hope you're doing all right tonight there, Callie. We're just sitting here painting up some horrors of the land down under. Which, cozy, fun little D&D idea to run by you. Do you or do you not think that Drow canonically should have Australian accents? We'll take fairly well, Callie. I'm glad to hear that. I hope the night continues to treat you well. Exactly. It's because they hail from a land down under. But also, I think it would give the idea that Undercommon is a language that most people can learn, but it's harsh and harder to learn. I think it would just be really hilarious for it to be just an Australian going full Australian on somebody. Because, dwarves are almost always Scottish or German. Regardless of setting. That seems to always be a thing. But elves are always, poshly British for some reason. But I would like to think that Drow elves would be absolutely hilarious as Australians. I mean, there you go, Cozy. Give it a shot. The accents can only be so bad. And you embrace the bad, shenanigans of voice acting attempts because one, everybody at the table has more fun, and two, you're going to have more fun and get more comfortable, attempting to do accents. Experiment with it. See where your voice winds up going. Because I always, even if it's bad, it will at least be fun. And your players will always appreciate you giving giving that extra bit of effort to make the campaign more realistic. In the sense that, there are multiple accents, there are, multiple, all sorts of things, ecology and things like that. Like, it's the idea of fantasy worlds and everyone sounding the same is just kind of weird to me. But also, there is absolutely nothing wrong with having some NPCs be European because you've got a lot of diversity there. Make a couple of them, like Pogue County Irish, where they're Irish farmers from Doonley County, and see how many. If you can do the accent well enough and hit the cadence right, then your players should only be able to accurately hear one English word every, 13 words. And then you get to play the game of doing exposition like that and seeing what your players write down for their notes. Oh yeah, God. Some forest elves that are just straight Creole. That would be entertaining. Some Bohick mountain folk who literally only speak in twangs of banjo. You gotta have fun with it. 100%. Yes, I can 100% get behind that, honey. Hell yeah. Literally the tool and banjos. I would say that an Australian accent to comparatively to British. I would like to say that Australian is to British accents as American accent is to New York. I don't know if I would necessarily say that Australian is the British version of Boston talk, But I also can't say no to that either. But speaking of mountain, yeah, kind of. But speaking of mountain accents and goofiness, Cozy, that cryptid D&D Kickstarter that you shared with me, I did wind up backing it, and they are now in the final, doing their final drafts, getting the artwork done so that they can get it off to print. So hopefully, we'll wind up having that supplement book and all of its shenanigans and hilarity. Hopefully, we'll have that around maybe Christmas time at the end of the year. I'm hoping so, at least. So that is definitely something that I'm looking forward to because they did one or two for every state, and then they hit the funding goal to do worldwide cryptids. So that is something that I am very, very much looking forward to getting my hands on because, again, I love the idea of cryptids, and then they found a way to put them in D&D. So once that gets here, which I also got the digital bundle. So as soon as I get that, you will also have it, Cozy, as well as a set and Landon if you would like it, because they do have the always fun Mothman and several other well-known North American cryptids in it. I will be happy to send you the PDF files and stuff like that for it. Well, Cozy, it's D&D. The whole point is for me to share it. That's what keeps it to where Wizards of the Coast doesn't get to enjoy all that money. It's because I buy it, and then I can now share it with my friends who are also interested in running adventures that are slightly different than the standard ideas of D&D. Because it is, yeah, I wholeheartedly, based off of just the updates that they've given, that is going to be a absolutely fantastic D&D supplement. So I really cannot wait for that one to get through publication because that is everything that is right up my alley. Cryptids, D&D, and all of that. So I'm going to be doing my own version of fact-checking them once I have it in my hands. But I mean, they know what they're doing. they brought on some really good experts and things for it so that they could ensure that they were doing the creatures respect, as well as, actually capturing the culture, not just the goofy myths behind everything. So I 100% am excited as hell for when that actually drops. Because I have been absolutely blown away by the Ryoko's guide that I finally got delivered. It has been absolutely phenomenal to flip through that. Oh yeah, no, like that. That's the thing, is I think they got. I know the book advertised itself to have at least one cryptid for every state in the United States. So, Fresno Nightcrawler, I think that might have been one that was mentioned, was getting its artwork done in the last update. But, like all the big Appalachia ones, the Chupacabra, good old Mothman, Ogopogo, I mean, just I know the Jersey Devil is one of them. It is gonna be full of just really fun cryptid lore, and I really can't wait to get my hands on it. Because I know as soon as I do, I'm going to be gathering all of my friends, and we're going to probably run a couple of just goofy one-shots of us fighting specific cryptids and seeing how far we can get with it. Yeah, honey, I'll see if I can. I'll share the link to it probably sometime tomorrow. Just text me or something and remind me. And I will very happily send you the link to that so that you can see it and see what all sorts of cool stuff that they're working on, and you can check in on the updates to see what all they've added to it, because I know it got fully funded, so they're making it. But I'm pretty sure they stated that they will be continuing to sell stuff on BackerKit afterwards. I mean, there is nothing in the book necessarily stating that you have to fight the cryptid. If that's what your friend is asking, Landon. There are rewards if you do fight the cryptid. In fact, you can even get and or make weapons specifically from the cryptid. However, if your friend is a little bit more interested in, I don't know, playing a bard in this campaign, or a high charisma based warlock, I would say that you could probably quite easily get away with that. The origin of the home defense model. Oh no. Oh no, I love that. That's gonna have to be a one shot. I'm gonna have to. Landon, I think once I get this book, I'm gonna have to invite you into a D&D game. Well, you and your friend. That way, your friend isn't nervous about asking such questions. Okay. Now that we've got all these big bastards primed, it's D&D. Everything is always a roll of the dice away. So you can certainly try. I will never, unless it is just absolutely detrimental to the game. Well, dang. Like, unless it is just legitimately detrimental to the like story and the game, I will never outright say no to a player who is a 13. You might get somewhere with a 13. Just remember, kids, that while the stereotype is bards, any class can roll for seduction. In fact, the ones you really have to watch out for are the paladins. Because the paladins are also high charisma based. And they can be just as bad because they can take an oath to be just as bad. Warlocks are my favorite class. I will happily teach Landon about warlocks. Roll for Riz. 17. There you go, Hedgie. Now that you've rolled, here's the thing. Oh, they can take an oath to be worse than bards. So, paladin oaths no longer require a deity. It very simply can just be they believe strongly enough about something and that can become their oath. So you very easily could make a paladin that is just a rake. And I mean that in the medieval sense of the word. But Hedgie, since you rolled a 17, now comes the best part of what you just did. You rolled well. I mean, again, perfectly fair again. Nobody said anything about, if you did choose to follow a god, that god wasn't a god of fertility or whatnot. Or debauchery. Oh, yeah. There you go, Coach. All right, Hedgie, you rolled a 17. So, go ahead. Seduce me. And they're... Because, yeah, you rolled well enough on the dice. Now you have to do well enough against me. Seduce me. The best way to screw with your players. Pulls out like yeah. No, fair. Fair. Okay. What's to stop a barbarian from being able to riz up everybody in the party as well? You can be a high charisma barbarian. There you go, Pine. God, good old Team Fortress 2. Right. I mean, again, there is nothing stating that a barbarian has to have low intel. A barbarian doesn't even have to have low intelligence. You can literally play your own way, and the dice will eventually tell a story. Be that perfect himbo barbarian. And slay all the things. And you can drop the S on that as often as you wish. Okay, so I'm hearing at least a minimum of 10 for your intelligence. And then, you could just have really high charisma and really high strength. All you really need at that point is just decent constitution. And then depending on what feats or whatnot you take, you can make wisdom your dump stat, because then if you rage and have to make a wisdom save, you can get advantage on it with certain feats. So you'd be fine. Perfecting the Johnny Bravo character sheet as we speak. Cozy, you laugh, but I legitimately played a game with someone who played a Johnny Bravo Barbarian Paladin. And they acted as in character as they possibly could. It was quite an entertaining several sessions until sadly they met their end at the hands of an Aranea. Absolutely fine there, Cozy. You go and get you some good rest. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your night, and we will catch you either we'll catch you tomorrow, because I do believe Aset is going to be streaming a bit more of his birthday bash celebrations. And I'm going to make sure I don't forget my headphones this time, so that I can sit back and enjoy it to its fullest extent. Because apparently I was the fool this April, and walked out of my house today without having my headphones on. Probably why work was a little more irritating to me today than it probably could have been. I think Shrek is tomorrow, yes. I think that's what he was stating, was that he was going to be, doing that the Pokemon Smash 'em All song and Shrek. The entirety of the first movie. Though, as hilarious as it would be for me to go up and down the aisles of work blaring the Gotta Smash 'em All song, I don't think management would approve too terribly much. So yeah, I gotta make sure I bring my headset with me tomorrow. That's somebody else. Yeah, there you go. Honestly, they probably wouldn't say anything to me because they know that unlike several, at least, I go above and beyond and get my jobs done by the end of the day. So I would like to assume that they wouldn't care too terribly much because they at least know I do my work. All right. Almost done with that. There we go. Alright, so part of the cave formation is done. Might actually get through a good bit of these figures tonight. You have a wonderful rest of your night there, Hedgie. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Get you some good rest, and we will happily see you tomorrow. That way, we are ensured to be able to catch all of your fun shenanigans on your stream. Excuse me just one moment. Let me get this thing stopped. There we go. But have a wonderful night, Aset, and we will see you in the morning. And we hope that everything winds up going well for you. As I am quite excited to see how your shenanigans play out tomorrow. Alright, let's see. This small one is going to be a pain in my ass. I can already tell. Thankfully, there's not a whole lot of unnecessary detail that this one has to go through. Okay. Alright. Okay, we'll let that one dry. See if I need to throw another coat of that reddish brown on it. But we'll let it dry so that I can get it to the point where I can use the white for the fangs without creating an absolutely unusable spot. That's yours. Huh. It's that one. We're supposed to use this, I bet. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, we can make that work. Oh, no, I'm still messing. I'll have to go and get another base anyway. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so you guys are purple. Which I actually have the artwork for you right here, so I would appreciate being able to, at the very least, reference it. But of course, I've got everything in the way because, you know, I'm a professional. There we go. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, let's see if we can pull this off. I hope that you hit in the same way as that blue does, because I can barely see if this is actually even going on. Don't know, I may actually have to go over you with a lighter color. We'll actually hold off and let that dry. Because I'm not sure if that actually is going to do the thing that it's supposed to. Let's go ahead and finish the piercer real quick.
Let me get
Thank
some
you for the
My fucking
hydration
back.
and the stretch. Oh.
Please tell me you mean the submarine.
Wait, no, not that one. Well, we got it in honor of the Hedgie. Since that is definitely his favorite one out of all of the ones that I have. There we go. Yeah, I may actually have to run these header caps with a different color and then go over them with the purple. Probably because, yeah, you can't see that purple at all against the black. Alright, so we'll just prime them up in gray then, I guess. And then go back over it with the purple. But we'll go ahead and finish off Piercer and its thing. There we go. Alright, so we got our cave formation here in all of its fine-tuned glory. Just a dark, desolate little cave piece. And then we have the Piercer, which essentially are just 5th edition's rot grubs, but they are just as bad and just as awful to run into as a player. So there we go. Alright, so we need to prime you guys in a lighter color. Because if not, we're not gonna be able to get anywhere in terms of having your color pop up at all. Alright, so hopefully this one won't take us very long to catch this back up. But now I'm quite excited to see how a set does with his Shrek run tomorrow. I know that's going to be his poor arms. He is planning on doing the entirety of the Shrek movie, the first one, in Ragnarok. I don't know how he plans to do that, but I'm here for it. I'm gonna be there to support him regardless of how that turns out. I need to make sure that he stretches and has his water set up to where he can get to it at any point during his performance with that. Because, man, over an hour straight of just drumming. I think I'm almost out of this gray completely. But, hey, even though this set us back just a little bit, it's still gonna look great once it's done. Nice, great, going. Alright, Pine, you go ahead and get you some good rest, and we will see you tomorrow as well. I hope that the rest of your evening treats you well and that you get you some good rest. And we'll see you tomorrow either in the server or on the Hedgie stream. But you have yourself a wonderful night. Go. Good, 2/3 of the body done. But also, hopefully, with this gray, I won't have to come in with any kind of white or anything to diffuse the purple. Because it's going to be hard enough to see all of that. Well, welcome in there, Oles. I hope you're doing alright tonight. You already sound a little exasperated. I hope everything's alright. But I do know it is your Friday, so congratulations, Oles. You made it through to the weekend for you. And now you can just sit back and rest and relax, which you have more than earned. Exactly. He gets to sit back on a nice long little vacation there. So hell yeah, Oles, pull you up a chair, crack you open a cold one if you need to, and just relax. You've come to the end of the line and you deserve the R&R that you get. Uh-oh. There he goes making making the fist. Cracking those kids upside the head as they need it. Damn, those must have been some pretty long-winded emails. But hey, you got it done. You did your job. That's all that matters. Hopefully, by the time they get back, their attitudes will have been adjusted for you, so you don't have to worry about it. There you go, Oles. Just sit back and enjoy them. Grab you some good food and enjoy your 2 week vacation from all the other people's gremlins. Alright. That finished him off. Alright, let's see if we can get this other one taken care of, but desperately. There we go. Hey, looky there. Hell yeah, Oles. I'm still quite confused as to why that was implemented, but hey, I'm glad to see that, a few of you guys are enjoying using it. And also, I'm happy as hell to have you here at any point. But I greatly appreciate you hanging out with us tonight, Oles. Always a pleasure to have the Vibe Cat here with us. I don't blame you at all there, Oles. By the sound of it, you've had yourself a rather long week, so by all means, take it as easy as you can. We are happy as hell to have you here with us. Alright, let's see if we can squeeze just a little bit more paint out of this. It's just so odd because I never really use just the gray. So it's kind of funny that that's the color that's crapping out on me right now. Come on, we got the majority of the body. We're almost done. Guys almost remind me of the elites from Halo. Come on, we're almost there. Got enough to get us there. Okay. Apologies, wasn't expecting this to be this much of a process just to re-prime them in a different color. Didn't know my gray was going to be this out, or I would have gone and grabbed the other one. But it's alright, we've made it through. Getting the last of it taken care of. And then we can move on. There we go. That is toast. Alright. So now that we've got everything officially primed, go ahead and take care of the ground under their feet. what will be left will be the body. And glue them down. I don't like getting old and sitting down for too long. The bones, they creak. They tell me nothing. Oh, yeah. Well, it would be fine if I would quit shrimping over the table. But I seem to deflate myself down to be able to see a little bit better what I'm doing. So, yeah. I shrimp pretty hard when I sit here and paint for too long. Especially after a day of lifting heavy things all 90% of the day. It's okay. A little bit of shrimpage ain't gonna kill me. At least I have good lighting in here. So that I don't have to utilize the headgear that I've got. That's got a bunch of different magnifying glasses and whatnot on it. I love that thing, but the batteries don't last in it for shit, so... Funny, I really should use a clear coat on all of this once I get done with it. That way, when you pick up the figure and whatnot, you're not rubbing away the paint and making it dingy or whatnot. But I mean, I don't know. I've just never been really. I need to just set me up a rig so that I can spray all of my figures with, like a big thing of clear coat and just let it settle on them. Go. Bases of that are painted. And the new primer is fully dry on them. So now I should be able to come back in with the purple. Alright. Let's see if this works now. Okay, I can at least now see the difference of whether I'm applying something or not. They're still probably going to turn out a little darker than I necessarily want them to be, but if they're creatures creeping around in the dark anyway, I wouldn't quite expect them to be a overly vibrant, bright color to begin with. So a deep purple probably wouldn't. That's not going to be too bad. go. Okay, apparently just don't necessarily like the color, apparently, because you're popping out several spots where I know for a fact I've gone over you and you're just not taking very well. Either that or my brush just is starting to give out. You're just not holding paint very well. I mean, it really has. And this is also one of my older brushes, too, so it wouldn't surprise me if it's about time to retire this one. But it may also just be this color because I don't quite remember fighting with any other color to get even half of the area of coverage. Like I'm having to constantly fight with this one for some reason. But it looks like we might be able to, at the very least, get one of these guys finished and glued to his base, and then we can pick up again on Friday and see about at least clearing all the small ones off. And then we can just move on to some of our other paint projects. So I can't complain too much. I mean, we're making a lot more progress than I have been in the last year or so. Alright. Alright, you come on. Work with me. I know the claws are a little weird. Wonky. There we go. Good progress. Good I completely understand. I'm not too far behind you there, Landon. Like I said, I think what we're going to do is we're just going to finish getting his body painted, and then I think we'll hold off till Friday to finish the two Eder caps, and then maybe we can get all three of the Drow and the Yakel done. Because I should be able to go to Community Day without any problem. At least as of right now, there's nothing that I know of that will be preventing me from joining in on the shenaniganry this go round. So I am very much looking forward to that. As it has been a couple of community days that I've unfortunately just been unable to attend. Alright. Let's see here. This last little bit of art. Okay, so really just the only thing I'll have to do to you is just touch up any of these little goofy spots that have been missed. And then we will just basically have to do your eyes once you're dry. I think it'll be enjoyable to come back. As it looks like the last couple that I missed were a lot of fun, so I'm looking forward to hopping in and enjoying what bit of shenanigans we can have. There we go. Alright. He's still going to be a bit too wet to attach himself to his own base, so we'll just handle that going forward. Let's see. Alright, I'm going to cut to black for a second, and then I'm going to hop on to my other headset, and we'll wrap up tonight. So give me just 1 second.
Let's see. Was the music not playing this whole time? I thought I had it set up. Well, okay, that's interesting. Okay. Well. Oh, it was on? Okay. Well, good, because I wasn't hearing it there for a second. But alright, everybody. I greatly appreciate you all hanging out with me tonight. We wound up getting quite a good little bit done, actually. So now we've got that full Knoll War party taken care of. We have the giant spider done. The piercer. And basically one whole Ettercap done. And one more left to go. And then from there we can move on to, because the last little ones that I have are those drow fighters, a wizard, and a demon slime that they would have summoned. And then the only thing left from there is the cloaker and all of my bigger projects that I have scattered about, and then we can move to clearing the pile of shame off of the other desk. Since these are all technically just the ones I've recently acquired. But with that said, I do hope that you all have a wonderful evening, afternoon, morning, or night. I do hope that you get you some good rest if that's what you're settling in to do. And if not, then hopefully the day will treat you well. I will either catch all of you over on Aset's stream tomorrow as he is continuing his birthday celebration, and I am definitely going to see the chaos that is going to ensue. But other than that, I will catch you guys either in other friend streams. We'll either catch you in the server, or we will be back here doing this again on Friday. And we'll see if we can't knock out the whole rest of at least the small projects. So again, thank you so much for hanging out with me again tonight, guys. We will catch you all later. And I hope it continues to go well, and we're almost to the weekend, so that's another great plus. But have a good night, everybody. Va fail.